Good morning. I am on a very windy walk in Eyam in the Peak District today. There is so much going off at the minute. Lots of things in flower and loads of new plants are coming out. It's really, really beautiful out here at the minute. It's not a bit windy, so let's see what we can find today. Just found a beautiful patch of sweet cicely, and this is part of the umbellifer family. It looks very, very similar to cow parsley, but if you give the leaves a bit of a crush and a smell, they'll release a really, really strong aniseed type licorice scent that's really, really quite delicious. And these are the big giant seed pods, and the leaves are edible, the seed pods are edible, and the flowers as well, and the whole plant has got this beautiful kind of aniseed scent to it. So if you do see a plant that looks like cow parsley, just crush the leaves and give it a smell, and if it's got that aniseed flavour, then you can be sure that it's sweet cicely. Down on this ash tree we've got all of these ash keys, or the samara. These are the fruits from the ash tree, and these are edible. These can be pickled. I've never tried that, but keep saying I'm going to give that a go, but I probably won't go around to it this year. I spoke about these in one of my recent foraging videos, so I'll just link that at the top if you'd like to learn a bit more about ash keys and the ash tree. This massive dandelion looking head here is salsify, Meadow salsify, and the whole plant of this is edible. I spoke about this in my last foraging video. The roots can be sautéed kind of a bit like potatoes, but yeah, they've got these giant kind of dandelion-esque heads. You can often see them a good couple of feet high. All of the yarrows now in flower. Yarrow is a beautiful plant. It's very, very medicinal. It was used in the war to help staunch bleeding, and it's great for wound healing. You can collect the leaves and dry them and make them into a salve or a poultice, and it's a really lovely, pretty little plant. And you can tell yarrow from hogweed, because yarrow have got these beautiful kind of feathery little leaves here, whereas the hogweed leaves are big and spiky, or bigger and spikier, quite a lot different from the little thin feathery yarrow leaves. All of the hogweed is all coming into flower now. Won't be too long before we've got all of those lovely citrusy seeds. They're one of my favourite things to use in baking. So before the flowers of the hogweed open, they have these little kind of florets that look almost like sprouting broccoli, and they can be cooked just the same as well. They actually are really delicious. Seen a little wasp here harvesting all of the wood for its nest. I am deep in all of these nettles, brambles and hogweed. It's quite a climb to get through here, but I'm stoked to be finding some more elderflower actually in flower. What's that, babe?
Got you some elderflower.
It's not elderflower, is it? Where did you get it from?
There.
So that's a good example to show people. Hogweed flowers can look quite similar to elderflower, so make sure that you're always picking it off of a bush and not from a plant that's growing out of the ground like this. So these here are elderflower, and I'm pretty stoked to find this actually, because it's quite late in the season and I need to make some more cordial, and all of my allotment flowers have now started turning to berries, so quite stoked to find this. Broadleaf plantain is all starting to come into flower now. This makes a great little grain for use in baking. The leaves of broadleaf plantain can also be used for salves and things like that. You can just dry them and use them to infuse into oils to make your balms and your salves, and they're really good for wound healing, for insect bites and rashes as well. Look what I've just spied from right across the woodlands. Chris is straight up there. Can you see? I think it's Dryad saddle. We'll go and have a look. Look at all of these beauties. All of these fresh little babbies. And then, look at those. What a flush. Look at these tiny little pins. Oh, they're so cute. The Dryad saddle's got this really nice kind of feathery surface to it. Another nickname for it is pheasant back, and you can see why, because it's kind of got this pheasant feathery kind of top surface to the cap. Then underneath we've got some pores. So it's a polypore mushroom, which means it's got many pores rather than gills. It's a lovely little edible mushroom. Oh, I'm falling. And then there's some more all along this tree stump. And it's quite big, but it's still actually quite soft and tender. Have you got your knife, Chris? So you can see it's still quite tender, and it's got pores underneath. And it should have like a smell a bit similar to like watermelon rind.
Yeah.
So these can get quite tough and woody when they get older, but this is quite a fresh one, and I think it's just grown quite a lot in the rain we've had in the past few days. But it's still really soft and
the edges
flexible.
Are better when you're older.
Nice one, thank you. Take this home. So we've just taken the bits from around the edges because that's a little bit softer, and we'll leave all these ones under here to get bigger. These ones are coming home with me. Right, I've got to try and get back down this mountainside now. Could smell these. Look, little Stinkhorns. This one's still got its gleber on it, and you can see this fly. And what it does is the fly gets all this little sticky gleber attached to its feet, and then it travels off and spreads its spores. And they come out of these weird, grotesque looking witches' eggs, and there are what looks like hundreds of these all over this forest floor. There's a couple of them here, and there's some massive phallic mushrooms here as well. This one has almost had all of its gleber come off, and I tell you, it stinks. They smell disgusting. There's another one, and then over here there's some more. That one's had all of its stuff licked off. And then this one here. And what's really funny about these is in Victorian times they used to kick these over, so young fair maidens didn't come across them. Look, this is the little egg. God, they stink. There's another one down there, it's been kicked over.
There's an egg.
There's a little...
There's an egg that's been eaten there.
Oh yeah, this is quite cool. Look, you can see the inside of it here in this egg. And you can actually cut these open and eat these. But Chris has done that before. It's not, I don't think it's that horrible, but it's not very nice.
Is it chicken of the woods?
Yeah, very eaten chicken of the woods. It's been nibbled by what looks like slugs, squirrels, probably humans too. I'm just trying to catch my breath back because I just had to leg it for ages. Why did I have to do that, Christopher?
I thought I found truffles.
Because Chris thought he found truffles in a little hole underneath a tree, and he put his hand in it, and it just turned out to be a big old wasp nest, didn't it? And they all came out and followed us, and we legged it, and they were just on us. So I got stung in the arse, Chris got stung in the finger. So we've learnt a valuable lesson there. Don't go putting your hand in random holes.